At India's extreme western frontier, a massive, ancient stone wall guards a completely deserted wasteland. This is Lakhpat Fort. Today, the harbor has vanished. Visitors walk across empty salt marshes where thousands of merchants once lived, now a silent ghost town. Despite this lack of local economic activity, the Indian government is currently pushing massive infrastructure investments straight toward this exact frontier in Western Kutch. State planners have approved new freight rail networks designed to connect the deep interior of the country to this specific stretch of coastline. At the same time, nearby megaports are expanding their cargo terminals to accommodate the volume of global shipping passing just off the coast, trade that now happens almost entirely independent of the local landscape. A modern economic superpower is spending billions to build multimodal logistics networks, pointing directly at a forgotten ruin. Understanding this investment requires looking past the modern concrete and steel, back to a time when this specific geography generated the capital that defined the region's power. Long before Mumbai was India's commercial capital, Lakhpat was a thriving international gateway. The town sat near the mouth of the Indus River. This position allowed it to serve as a natural inland highway, moving goods deep into the subcontinent. Ships loaded with cotton, spices, and textiles sailed from these waters, connecting India directly to markets in Arabia, Persia, and East Africa. The port was so prosperous that it reportedly earned 1 lakh kauris, the local currency, every single day. It was this revenue that funded the construction of the massive stone fortifications that still stand today. But that entire economic system relied on one factor: the active flow of the Indus River. In the year 1819, a devastating earthquake violently struck the Kutch region, ending that prosperity in a single afternoon. This map shows the course of the Indus before the disaster, when it flowed directly into Lakhpat's harbor. The earthquake physically altered the terrain, diverting the river's waters away from the town. Without the current to clear the channel, the harbor rapidly silted up. Merchant ships were physically blocked from reaching the docks. Trade vanished, and the once bustling commercial center became a ghost town almost overnight. Lakhpat's abandonment illustrates a form of geographic determinism. The physical geology of the region dictated the death of the city. The earthquake erased the river and the harbor, but it could not erase Lakhpat's specific coordinates on the map. On a modern tactical map, Lakhpat intersects 3 critical maritime zones: the Arabian Sea, Kori Creek, and the Gulf of Kutch. Crucially, it sits directly on the India-Pakistan maritime boundary, making it a matter of national security, not just commerce. Monitoring this stark environment today requires constant presence along miles of border fencing and salt flats. This proximity to a contested border and global shipping lanes makes the broader Kutch coastline a primary strategic asset for India's maritime ambitions. The modern solution to the lost river is the construction of artificial logistics infrastructure. Since Lakhpat's harbor remains silted, the government is expanding neighboring deepwater ports like Jakhau, Diyal, and Mundra to bridge the gap. The new railway connections act as modern conduits, moving freight into the subcontinent, much like the Indus once did. This regional build-out is part of a larger strategy to connect India's western coast directly to international shipping routes in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. The old town of Lakhpat may never rebuild its docks, but its surrounding region demonstrates that while nature can destroy a port, a strategic position on the map eventually demands new infrastructure.